All right, for the first time, I am going to react to the Goodreads Choice Awards stuff. I actually do usually read a lot of new releases. Specifically in fantasy and sci fi, I've actually read some horror new releases this year, and I don't normally read that much general fiction the year it comes out. I normally wait for the paperback, but I have been like hearing about things. But I'll have on the screen the number of new releases I've read this year, so it'll be interesting with the stuff that I have read, seeing what'll happen, and I'll predict what'll win, and I'll talk about what I might vote for or write in, because I think first round you can write stuff in. But this is never an award where like I usually have read the one that wins. I can tell you which one will probably win, but there's always books that like win that like I have no interest in reading. Like last year, I knew To Sleep in a Sea of Stars was going to win. Very popular author, like I knew it, but I didn't read it, and I have no interest in reading it. So I'm sure that's going to happen again in some of my favorite genres. But I'm excited to see what's going to be nominated and how far some of the books that I really like go. So I'm gonna have my screen recorded, and let's see what there is to see. All right, so we'll just start with fiction and see what's there, and maybe I can predict what'll win based off what I've been hearing in the buzz, because I do know like what was on the short list for the Booker and what won that. But it looks like we've got The 100 Years of Lenny and Margaret. Don't know what that is. I didn't know there was a new Louise Erdrich this year. So that's really exciting to me. Kind of want that one to win just based off the author. This is what happens, though. Like, I don't vote for things that I haven't read. But people are like me, being like, oh, but I love that author. I would love if they won. I think This Close to Okay was in book boxes for, like, Book of the Month. Sally Rooney's an author I hear about all the time. I've never read, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a contender. I don't know anything in this second row. I don't know anything in this third row. Oh no, I know Cloud Cuckoo Land. I think that's the same author as From the Light We Can't. It's a World War II historical fiction that everyone talks about. Ryan's even read it, but so he might get pretty far because of that. Oh, a Nicholas Sparks book. Oh, Dial A for Aunties. Oh, I've heard good things about that one. That could be a really fun one. I don't know how far that one would get. I just took out from the library actually Once There Were Wolves, because I really liked her other book, Migrations, which is actually right behind me on my shelf. And I don't know, it looks like it's going to be another like beautifully written suspenseful novel, and I don't know, that scratches a certain itch for me. So I don't know if that one will make it far. So that's this section. I'm not voting for anything in there, obviously. We're going to skip ahead to the fantasy section because I do not read mystery and thriller books, and I haven't read any historical fiction. I don't normally know that much about it. So we're going to go to fantasy. Oh, this is going to be a good one. We got The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. I love that book. I mean, it's right up here next to my head. I've got a review for it. Really great. I have not read The Wolf and the Woodsman, and I get this one confused with For the Wolf all the time. There were 2 wolf books released this year, and I can't remember which one is the Beauty and the Beast retelling or not, because I think one of them is the Beauty and the Beast retelling, and one of them is liked more than the other, and maybe it's this one. I have no clue, and for that reason, I haven't picked either of them up. It's really stressful. Spindle Splintered. Oh, that is definitely harder to say than I thought. I've only read one Alex E. Harrow. It was The Thousand Doors of January. I haven't read Malice, but I haven't, and no one that I follow has really loved it. Ooh, The Chosen and the Beautiful. I have not read, but I've heard great things. I don't really want to read a Great Gatsby retelling, which is the main reason I haven't read it, is it's a Great Gatsby retelling, even though I know, it's very beautiful and has good representation. I really liked She Who Became the Sun, although, like, it wouldn't be my vote. It's good, but I don't know, it's good, and I'm excited to read the second book because it's going to be a duology, and I really like its historical fantasy aspects, but it's kind of low magic, and its storytelling format is difficult to let me connect to the characters. I haven't read Ariadne. I can't pronounce this word. It's a person from mythology. I think it's the mom of the Minotaur? I could be very wrong, so do not quote me. But I know that was also in Book of the Month. The Hidden Palace, that's the sequel to The Golem and the Genie, which I haven't read that first book. And I think it might more be like a companion sequel, but I know the first book was insanely popular, so not surprised to see that here. Oh, and here are two of the potential winners for this award: A Court of Silver Flames or The Crown of Gilded Bones. I've only read one of them. I don't think either of them would be my votes whatsoever. But I mean, Sarah J. Maas, you put her on a list, she's gonna get a lot of votes. Like, I had fun with A Court of Silver Flames. I think actually both of these should be more in the romance section, maybe. I don't, especially A Court of Silver Flames. I think that's more of a fantasy romance than an actual fantasy. Granted, all fantasy subgenres are in here, but I do not read A Court of Silver Flames for its fantasy elements. I actively dislike a lot of the world building and plot in those books. And I don't know how well The Crown of Gilded Bones will do. I think it does better on Goodreads as it does on BookTube. I think people who really like her books are more patient because they aren't like trying to get through TBRs or aren't excited about like all these other books to read. They're like, oh, it's one of my favorite authors and they wrote a long book, so I get to spend a lot of time. So I think that's how that'll go. I'm excited to see The Shadow of the Gods. Haven't read any John Gwen yet. Hoping to fix that soon. The Book of Magic. No idea what that is. Under the Whispering Door. Haven't read it. I've only read The House in the Cerulean Sea. That's what it's called. I don't know. I just haven't like had the itch to pick it up. It seems like it's more of like a contemporary fantasy, which I have to be in a very, very specific mood to pick those up. Like Inheritance of Orquídea Divina is kind of like a contemporary fantasy, and I loved it, but I had to be in a very specific mood. Oh, it would be awesome if that made it pretty far in the voting. Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. I have a review for it. It's just like there are like two popular, widely published adult Latinx fantasy. It's Gods of Jade and Shadow and Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. Like, if you include Mexican Gothic and other things, there are other ones, but, like, that's also just still one other author. It's, like, two authors. So it'd be great if it made it far. Oh, The Last Graduate's going to be near the top, too, I'm pretty sure, even though it's a sequel, and sequels don't actually always go as far. Like, people love Naomi Novik in, like, the general world. Not necessarily on BookTube or anything like that, but, like, in terms of, like, a popular author. That's going to go far. A Master of Jinn. I wanted to like this book so much more than I did. I just didn't. I don't know. It's just a detective thing. I think it's just that it's the subgenre of like detective murder mystery fantasy. And it's just not like my thing. Haven't read The Witch's Heart. Oh, Sorrowland. I love Sorrowland. Man. That one actually, I don't know if it's my favorite fantasy that I've read. Like, I don't know if it's the one I'll vote for. But in terms of like the blending of like great plot development and thematic tension and characters I loved, like it's kind of the whole package, especially for a standalone. Ooh, that one's really good. And see, here it is, For the Wolf. I do not know the difference between For the Wolf and The Wolf and the Woodsman. I just know they are different. It's a struggle. And then The Unbroken. This one is my favorite of the Sapphic trifecta, which did make it all on this list, which is really exciting. I love The Unbroken. I think, this is hard. Like, of the ones that are listed here, it's The Unbroken or Sorrowland that's going to give my vote. I have no idea which one I'm going to land on. I don't know if there's any that came out that I wish were on here. I don't feel like anything unexpected happened. Okay, this is editing Angela jumping in to say, I forgot that The Mask of Mirrors was not on that list. Like, it was a very good list, but where was The Mask of Mirrors? Where is The Mask of Mirrors? This just means not enough people have read it, which I knew. It's okay. It's okay. I'm okay. I'm not okay. All right, well, let's go to sci-fi where, I won't have as many opinions because I haven't read as many of the releases, I don't think. Let's see if we get over there. Okay, well, I have read Winter's Orbit, and I have a review. I thought it was really fun, but I liked the romance aspects more than the sci-fi aspects, and actually whenever we were actively in the sci-fi plot, I was like, I want to be back with those characters. I don't actually care about these politics right now, or this mystery, or the tension of the plot. I don't care about that. I care about the tension of that relationship. So in that way, like, it was great for me, but also it really is a 50-50 plot to romance book, and I wanted it to be like 30-70 sort of thing. I haven't read Appleseed, Adrian Tchaikovsky. I've still read nothing. I might read Elder Race, which is their new novella, I think, that I might really like. Alan just had a review. I should read A Psalm for the Wild Built, but I'm kind of saving that for next year because I think it's a book that's great for millennial midlife crises, and I'm about to be changing career paths, or getting a career path. So I think it'll be good for those vibes. Don't know what The End of Men is. I have yet to read Martha Wells' book. But we did vote for the buddy read for the Patreon to be All Systems Red. So it's finally happening. In January, I'm reading All Systems Red. And here's the winner, Hail Mary. Hail Mary will be winning it. I will be legitimately shocked if Hail Mary does not win this award. Like, I haven't read it. I should read it because everyone has been really enjoying it. I just think I was burned on Artemis and, like, I don't know, there's other works that I've just been really wanting to get my hands on, so it hasn't been on the top of my list. But yeah, Project Hail Mary's gonna win. Like, for example, though, the one next to it, Light from Uncommon Stars, I really want to read that. So, like, if I had to choose between these two, even though I know one of them is going to be for sure a finalist and the other one, I'm not as sure. Because I think Light from Uncommon Stars, based off what I've heard, is more like softer sci-fi and things like that. I don't know. I'm just really interested in it because a lot of my friends have really loved it, like Bethany and Jocelyn. I'm just very interested. Don't know what Girl 1 is. Remote Control was really good. That's my favorite Nnedi Okorafor. I really, really enjoyed it. Don't know what Constance is. A Desolation Called Peace. So good. I don't think that one has a chance of winning because it's a sequel, and most people haven't even read A Memory Called Empire, and you can read A Memory Called Empire as a standalone, but man, did I love Desolation Called Peace. That was so good. Don't know what The Last Watch is. I tend to not read Star Wars books. I know Rabbids is based off like an audio drama or something. I will refer you to Michael Knipp for all Rabbids content, because that's all I know about it, is that there's a Rabbids like audio drama thing. I don't even know if that's the right word for it, and then this is the book. The Echo Wife. The Echo Wife might be my vote. Like, I was thinking about this earlier today. I was like, what is the sci-fi new release I've read this year that might be my vote? And it might be The Echo Wife. Like, I love A Desolation Called Peace too. But The Echo Wife, like, consumed me, and I think is actually thematically, like, really good at what it does. Like, I don't know. I know I don't have a standalone review for Echo Wife, but that's mainly because I don't know how to talk about it. Like, I don't. I just consumed it in 2 days, and it's kind of like a thriller, and it's very much a deep character study of this woman, and it's very unsettling, and it's very unputdownable. Oh, I really liked it. I don't know what Terminator Shock is. I've only read Never Let Me Go by the author of Claire and the Sun, and I don't know if he's for me. I mean, I'd be interested to read Remains of the Day, for sure. I would read the other popular work by him and see where I landed, but I've only heard things about Claire and the Sun, so that one doesn't interest me. Although I do think that one will make it far because he's like a Nobel Prize winning author who's very popular. I do not know what Firebreak is. And then I am actually very happy but surprised to see Machine Hood on this list. I feel like nobody talks about this book on the book internet. I think I'm the only one who's like really read it and like has a review for it. I actually had a really fun time with it. I don't think it would be my vote or anything like that, but I had a fantastic time with that like kind of sci-fi thriller, like near-ish future, like 90 years in the future story. Like, it was a blast. It got me out of a reading slump, and I am always appreciative of that. So that's the sci-fi section, which I think I'm going to vote for The Echo Wife for this round, I think. Or is it A Desolation Called Peace? I don't know. I don't have to vote right now. I'm just discussing it with you. But for sure, I mean, the finalists are going to be Fugitive, Telemetry, Hail Mary. Maybe Remote Control because Nnedi Okorafor is popular, and like Claire and the Sun. Those are the ones that like, have like name recognition. That's like the big thing for these awards, right? Let's just like real quick look at horror because I have like read some, so maybe I'll know something on this list. Oh, this isn't looking promising. Never mind. First row, I don't know anything. Second row, I know My Heart is a Chainsaw. All my friends really like Stephen Graham Jones, and I finally have read a short story by him. He has very jarring sentences, but in like an intentionally good way. I know about the Final Girl Support Group, which honestly a lot of my friends didn't really like, but I do think he'll actually make it pretty far because he's a pretty popular author. He always has a lot of stuff shelved at the bookstore. That's all I know from that row. Summer Sons! I know Summer Sons. That one was good. I really, really enjoyed that one. That's like really dark academia, unsettling. Although like, I don't know what the definition of horror is. Like I would have put Saarland in horror. Personally, I think Saarland is more unsettling and creepy to me than Summer Sons. And they both kind of have, like, haunting aspects to them. But Summer Sons, I really liked. I thought it explored, again, another piece that really had great thematic explorations, but also fantastic character studies. I mean, I wasn't there for the plot. I mean, the book was barely there for the plot. The book was definitely there to study grief and these character things. Dowry of Blood. I didn't know this was such a new release. I feel like my friend Judith had been talking about it recently, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I still don't know the rest. I know Tori DNF'd the Book of Accidents. That's what I know. So I guess in this section, I'm for sure voting for Summer Sons, I'm pretty sure, because that's the one I've read. Which is that bad, but this is a popularity contest, and I at least always vote for things that I read. And I guess now we'll go to young adult fantasy and science fiction, because I do not read young adult contemporary, alas. And let's see what I recognize here, which won't be a lot, but I have read some new releases. Yeah, that top row. Don't know things. I do know of the ones we're meant to find, and it's on my list of things to get to, because it seems like a really cool young adult sci-fi. Third row is where I know the Gilded Ones, which I actually really liked, and I'm really excited for. I think it's the Deathless Ones is the next one. I don't know, but I really liked it. A lot of people say it reads too young. Maybe I just like young adult that reads young. I have no clue, but it reminded me of what it was like to be 14. I thought she was a really, like, smart protagonist, which I appreciated. Like, she was still 14, but she was, like, connecting dots. She was, like, existing in the world. I really liked her. The next round, here's the winner, Cassandra Clare. There we go. We found the winner. I don't know how well A Vow So Bold and Deadly will do. I feel like it's gotten mixed reviews, but it might make it pretty far because of the first book being so popular. Same with Sky Beyond the Storm. It's like the fourth book in a pretty popular YA series, I think. I don't know. So that could make it pretty far. I have heard nobody talk about Gods and Monsters. Like, nobody. It's like the third book in the Serpent and Dove series, if you can't tell from the cover. I haven't heard amazing things after the first book. Like, sometimes I really like tropey, silly, fun YA romance, and I don't think that one's going to be for me. I really liked We Free the Stars. I thought it was an amazing conclusion. And then Aiden Thomas. Now, the book that should be on this list that is not is Illusionary by Zoraida Cordova. That would be my vote. Or it could have been Chaos on Catnet, but that probably has like 100 votes, like ratings. So I understand why that one's not there. But Illusionary should be here. If I can find a way to write in my vote, I will do that. I think they used to allow write-ins, but I guess maybe that's a second round thing, or that's something they took away. I don't know. So I think that's all I'm going to talk about, because those are all the things I think that I've read in 2021. Everything else I go back in time, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I finally have read all of these things. Let me know what you think are going to be the winners. What are you going to be voting for? What would you write in if you could? I don't know. I don't know why, even though, like, I know this is just, like, a marketing scheme to, like, get people to buy books for Christmas, like, I still enjoy voting for things. And this is actually one of the reasons I started reading more modern, because every year I'd be like, man, I want to be able to actually vote through multiple books and not just, like, pick the one that I've read. You know, and so that was one of the reasons how I found book blogging, and I was like, oh cool, people have like anticipated releases lists. Like, that was probably my entry point. So, you know, that's at least one good thing from the Goodreads Choice Awards, is it got me to learn that there's a book community on the internet. But yeah, if you want to leave an emoji, I don't know. Is there like a vote emoji? Leave like a check mark, I guess, the check emoji. And like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.